Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering the South Carolina versus Iowa game that happened yesterday. We'll also be discussing a little bit about LeBron James and Bronny James. We'll also be talking about whether the Kansas City Chiefs could move to Dallas. And since it's Monday, make sure you guys stick around for later in the show when we'll be diving into our dating horror stories of the day. But before we start, I just wanted to ask that you guys like and follow the show. We get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is gsmcpodcast.net. This just puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Hello, Tate. How are you doing today?
Hello, Miss Faith. We are kind of sort of color coordinated a little bit here. I got the white on, you got the white on, I got a little extra.
You got a little flair.
Yeah, a little pink to it, even with the little sleeves. Make sure the accent just enough, so because you're bringing your A game on a Monday.
Yeah,
you don't have your normal. There's
sometimes
there's looks throughout the week. Listen, you are always spectacular. I'm not throwing shade at you. There's just different levels. There's Monday spectacular. Then there's Friday spectacular. They're different games. So how was your weekend?
It was good. I worked this weekend, but I also, Miss Faith, watched two basketball games this weekend. So
I didn't know you watched two.
I watched half of the Iowa and UConn game, and then yesterday I watched the whole South Carolina and Iowa game. So
nice. You did more than what I did. This weekend, normally I work on Saturdays and Sundays. I left here Friday about 7 o'clock. Didn't come back until it was 10 this morning. I'd say the whole weekend intentionally did not go near the office.
Give Tate a round of applause.
Weekend. That is a big deal for me.
That never happens.
Never happens.
Yeah.
So I just kind of laid low and binge watched a bunch of old television series that I haven't seen in a long time. And then came here this morning and then watched the game. So I did get the game in a little this morning. So let's dive into this game.
Okay, so sadly for me, I was rooting for Iowa, but South Carolina beat Iowa for the national title. The South Carolina Gamecocks completed their undefeated season with an 87-75 victory over the Iowa Hawkeyes in the NCAA Women's National Championship. With their win, the Gamecocks became the first team since at least 2000 to win a title after returning 0 primary starters from the team that reached the Final Four in the previous season. Despite coming off the bench, Tessa Johnson led the Gamecocks in scoring with 19 points. Kamilla Cardoso with a second for South Carolina with 15 points. 3 of Iowa's starters, including Caitlin Clark, tallied 40 minutes in the contest. Caitlin led all scorers with 30 points, 18 of which came in the first half. After losing to the Hawkeyes in last year's Final Four, Dawn Staley's squad completed its revenge tour. South Carolina joined the 1991 Tennessee Lady Volunteers as the only team to win the national title game against the team that eliminated them in the previous women's NCAA tournament. Staley's third title also put her in the company of Gino
Ariana.
Ariana.
UConn's coach, yes.
Pat Summit, Kim Mulkey, and Tara Van Derveer as the 5th head coach to win a trio of national championships. From Gamecocks alums and Las Vegas Ace stars Aja Wilson to Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James and beyond, plenty of praise poured in for the national champs. I was so rooting for Iowa, and watching the first half of the game, I was like, oh, Iowa's got it. Iowa's got it for sure. And then the Gamecocks came in after halftime, and honestly, to me, it looked like a completely different team in the second half because South Carolina's defense really held their own in the second half of the game. So, but I was so upset. I was on the edge of my seat.
When you know what's going on, you're a little vested in it, aren't you?
Yeah.
First, you guys you were talking about how Staley joins General Ariama and Pat Summitt, and I always got to give a shout out to Pat Summitt. Old Tennessee's coach. She's passed, but that is my favorite coach in all of basketball. Men's, college, pro, it doesn't matter. Pat Summitt is my all-time favorite. So to put Dawn Staley in the same conversation as Pat Summitt is a big deal. So I gotta pay praise homage to my girl Pat Summitt. Okay. This was really the tale of two halves. Like you were saying how it seemed like two different games. That's where Dawn Staley gets the credit.
Yeah.
This is why I'm happy that when you're reading this article, they talk more about Dawn Staley because there was a different coach. Maybe South Carolina gets blown off the court. But what is called that halftime adjustment, she made halftime adjustments and took advantage. If you notice, the adjustments that was made were on the defensive side of things.
Yes.
They slowed that game down. They made their defense become a factor in the game. And I mean, it became a major factor. It's the winning cause. If you're going to say MVP, South Carolina's defense is the MVP of this game. Also, making the right substitutions. South Carolina kept an incredibly fresh team out there. They kept bringing in a lot of players.
A lot of freshmen.
Just loaded.
I
think they were calling South Carolina like the daycare because there were so many freshmen on the team. Was it something like that they were calling them?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
But they kept bringing in fresh bodies all the time. And you look at it and you say, Caitlin Clark had 30 points, 30 or 31 points. South Carolina's bench had 37. Not their starters, their bench. So their bench wiped out Caitlin Clark's influence. They the bench outscored. So that meant the rest of the team would have had to come up and answer the call. And Iowa's rest of their team just wasn't up to it. I felt like South Carolina's size, they were too big. Their bench was too deep, and the defensive substitution, the defensive play was like just second to none. It was a great game. Also, the fact that when you get knocked out of the playoffs, when you're thinking you got a shot at the national championship, and the team knocked you out, and you get to play them again in the national championship 1 year later, and get your revenge against the all-world Caitlin Clark, where these girls who are playing, or these ladies who are playing, they don't look at it as like Caitlin Clark's so great. They look at it as she's getting all this hype when we should be getting the hype. We're the number one team. We're the undefeated team. So South Carolina played not like the number one team, but a team that had a grudge, had an axe to grind. You haven't paid enough attention to us. Well, take a look at us now. And it was like defense. It was just wave after wave. Caitlin started out with 18, right in the first half.
Yeah, she was killing it in the first half. It was three after three after three. I was like,
and
good Lord.
only 12 in the second half. That means incredibly slowed her down.
Yes,
big time. And was it? I forget her name. Was it Johnson or someone that was playing defense against her?
Tessa
Tessa
Johnson.
Tessa Johnson. She was bringing that. She was bringing an A game on the defensive side. And then every once in a while, Staley would come in, give her time to get a little rest, and then she's back out there fresh and ready to go. And that's the thing. When Tessa has this incredible tough assignment, but to be able to give your all and then be able to come out, get a little rest, and have other players come in and other players come off the bench and contribute so that you get enough time to rest and then come back out again, that's a factor that Iowa could not do. Caitlin never had a chance to get that second and third win in my book. It was pretty much Caitlin was out there and she played pretty much the entire game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where I felt like that's what kind of cost them.
Yes.
I think it would have been nice to have her get an extended break right after the first half, just to kind of get her a little rested up, and then she comes out and finishes strong. But South Carolina was doing too much. They couldn't afford to have Caitlin not on the court.
Yeah.
Do you agree or disagree on that one?
I agree that they should have taken Caitlin Clark off the court for a little bit. I mean, because I feel like even though South Carolina's defense was just out of this world good in the second half, I feel like you could kind of tell that Caitlin Clark was also just like exhausted by the end of the game.
Yes, she had done everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, because she was trying to do, there was one part of the game where she kept like trying to do a layup and like the defense like kept smacking it, but it didn't, to me, like it didn't seem like she was like putting her all in trying to do those layups. It was like she was just trying to get the ball into the basket and not really like playing as well as she could have.
When you're tired, you lose your legs. And you could see that in those plays. She was losing her legs. She did not, if they would have gave her an extended break, but it's kind of like, I think about kind of like the Lakers, the way they were last year, or some of the teams with Kobe, the later years, where it was kind of like, if you take this guy off the court, their defense, they're gonna get their second team is gonna get blown out. If LeBron's not on the court, if Kobe's not on the court, the team that's out there is not gonna be able to keep pace. And that's kind of what happened. If Caitlin was off the court, South Carolina was going to extend this lead and put them away. So it was like, I can't take Caitlin out. So Caitlin played like 40 minutes, right?
Yeah.
You know, it should have been, she should have, you know, out of that 40 minutes, she would have been able to get like a 5 minutes of break out of that, this would be a different game. But South Carolina made it impossible to pull her out. There was not going to be a period of time, but they were going to give her any extended time. And through a long tournament, going into the championship, you're already tired and beat down. You know, and now, you know, you had to get past LSU. Now you have to get past South Carolina, and there's no rest for you. Yeah. Was just more than she could handle. Here's the question. Caitlin Clark makes it to the finals, but she comes up short. Is this a black eye on her legacy?
No, I don't think so.
At all. Zero. But I'm going to let you know something. I already know this for a fact because I've already talked to some people. Everyone first was, you know, want to see how she does against LSU. But then once she got past LSU, it was wait till she plays South Carolina. Wait till she plays South Carolina, where she's going to play the real girls. People that don't want to celebrate Caitlin Clark was looking for an excuse to not celebrate Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
There wasn't anyone. Do you disagree with me? Nobody on the court was better than Caitlin Clark last night. But the better team won.
Yes.
Caitlin Clark was the best player on the court, but the best team was South Carolina. And basketball is a team sport, and this is a prime example of why a great team a lot of times can beat a great player. If Iowa had someone, a number 2, that when Caitlin came out could go on a run and get some buckets so that she can sit on the bench a little bit longer and rest, this is a different game. But because the team was so one-dimensional, Caitlin Clark or death, it was pretty much Caitlin Clark or die was the offense to me. It was obvious. And the key was halftime adjustment. Okay, fresh Caitlin Clark came out there in the first half and was lighting them up. Second half, tired Caitlin Clark didn't have enough energy to win the game. That's pretty much what it came down to. The winner, the MVP is the coach, South Carolina's coach, because she made the adjustments. She kept giving her people a lot of rest, 37 points off the bench. You know, Iowa's points off the bench was 0. 0 points off the bench. No one. I don't care if you're high school, college, or pro. If you're getting 0 points off the bench, you're not winning. And that's what happened.
Before we go on break, I do just want to touch on the amount of viewers for this game.
I know.
The amount of viewers. The game brought 14.2 million viewers on average throughout the game, peaking at 17 million, which means it was also the most watched college event ever on ESPN+. The post-rating record-breaking NCAA women's basketball tournament ends with South Carolina win over Caitlin Clark. But before this game, Iowa's Final Four versus UConn was the most viewed ever. And that was at 14.2 million viewers as well. So I just want to say I think that is awesome because for people didn't want to talk about women's sports, didn't want to watch it, didn't want to do anything. And now women's college.
I was going to say, because I love what you're doing with this one. I was just going to ask you if you wanted to. We got to go on break, but when we come back, we'll touch on a little bit about the numbers of that and then roll into our next one. Is that cool?
Sure. Yeah, sounds good.
Excellent. Because there's a lot more to be had with this one. So I don't want to shortchange that one. So, okay.
Okay, guys. Well, we'll be back in a second and we'll be continuing our conversation. So we'll see you in a minute.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about the South Carolina versus Iowa game, and now we're just going to be touching on a little bit about the viewership of this game and games previous. But before we do that, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. We get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets right on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is gsmcpodcast.net. This just puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it just also really helps the show. So, alrighty.
Hello again.
Hello.
I was just looking up some information. So while we're on break, I just wanted to see what was last year's numbers. Mm-hmm. And the 2023 NBA Finals were watched by an average of 11.64 viewers in the United States. Mm-hmm. Meaning more people watched this game mm-hmm. and the other game than last year's NBA Finals. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why I'm like, I wanted to look this up just to see comparable mm-hmm. how they did versus the NBA Finals, showing that there's room. First, before we get to that part, Caitlin Clark has brought a lot of eyes to mm-hmm. women's basketball. Yeah. And that is such a good thing. Mm-hmm. You're looking at setting records. Her last two games are two of the highest viewed women's sporting events in history. Mm-hmm. And more people should realize that. When I talk to people who are not Caitlin Clark fans, I always say, listen, whether you like her or you don't like her, she's good for women's sports. Yes. She's bringing the women from LSU, the women from South Carolina have extra view. People know who they are mm-hmm. strictly because of they turned in to watch Caitlin Clark and learned about Reese or mm-hmm. learned about Johnson or Dawn Staley. Mm-hmm. You know, people didn't know about them, but this woman is putting eyes on them. So now, next year, maybe you're a little curious about, okay, what is Iowa going to be like now that Caitlin Clark's gone? Maybe I'm going to watch a couple Iowa games. Is LSU going to be different? How is South Carolina going to do? And maybe it raises up college basketball. Mm-hmm. Maybe Caitlin Clark and Reese all going to the WNBA. Maybe next year, people are looking to tune into them. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And it definitely, since Caitlin Clark is going into the WNBA draft, I feel like the WNBA viewership is going to go up as well. So I don't know if it'll be like college basketball. I don't know if the viewership will be as big as it was these past two games, but I definitely feel like viewership is going to be a lot higher than it usually is because of what Caitlin Clark has done for women's college basketball.
That's the question that I have, because sometimes you have that person that everyone is drawn to. Mm-hmm. And the minute they're gone, everyone forgets about everything else. Yeah. I hope that's not the case.
I do too, absolutely. Yeah.
I really hope that's not the case, because a lot of times with a lot of female athletes in the past, especially Olympic athletes, they capture the world or they capture American viewers during mm-hmm. the Olympics, and then the minute the Olympics are over, they're forgotten. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that Caitlin can kind of bring this on, to carry this on to the WNBA. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why when people talk about Big Three and her playing in the Big Three, that just brings more eyes to the WNBA and the women's college game. Mm-hmm. The fact is, Caitlin has made just her star has shined so bright that she's been in two of the biggest, most viewed games in the history of women basketball. maybe even more than that, because March Madness as a whole, women's March Madness as a whole, from what I've been seeing, has been getting blockbuster numbers. And I hope that carries over. I'm loving being able to talk about women's basketball and women's sports in general, because it's so not done enough. And to have someone, this isn't an Olympic sport this time. This is someone who's going to be in the WNBA, and I'm hoping that it'll carry over to the WNBA.
Yes, I did too.
So I just wanted to say that. Anything else you wanted to say about this? Because you were into this.
I just think it's great that that this game and the game before was the most watched college basketball game on ESPN Plus. I think that's great because women's sports definitely does not get the recognition that it deserves. And, you know, it's nice that it's getting, you know, at least like a little sprinkle of recognition. It definitely still needs more than what it's getting. But I'm very happy. I'm very happy with that.
When you're talking about 11.64 million people watched the NBA Finals last year, it wasn't the most exciting. And this one did what, almost 15 million?
Yes. Peaking at 17 million. Yeah.
Peaking at 17. That is huge. And I'm really hoping, we'll see, but keep hoping that this carries on. I will definitely be following her and seeing how her career advances. I'm really hoping that she gets that big three money and goes and play in the big three, just to have some fun, and to pad the wallet as well. I think she gets she gets $5 million for 10 games. Sign me up. That's $500,000 a game to shoot some J's. I'm saying go
sign me up. I'll shoot some hoops. I won't be good, but I'll take that $5 million.
No one is paying me $5 to play basketball. Listen, you can Venmo. You can send
Cash
me,
App, PayPal.
You can pay me in top ramen noodles. No one's paying to watch me play basketball. I'm gonna keep it real. There's things I'm good at. Basketball was not one of my strong suits. I'm gonna be honest.
No one would be paying me money to play basketball either. Standing at 4'11".
4'11" 3/4. That is.
And a half. It's important.
All right, transitioning from you playing basketball to other people playing basketball.
Yeah, and LeBron James. Let's talk about him. We're also going to touch a little bit on Bronny James as well. So the Lakers beat the Cavaliers for a fourth straight win and move into the 8th in the West. The Lakers can count on Anthony Davis and LeBron James to bring it nightly, but when the team gets a third player in the offensive mix, they become so much more dangerous. Saturday afternoon, D'Angelo Russell scored 28 on 11 of 17 shooting. The Lakers topped 3, scored 74, and the Lakers took care of business against the stumbling Cavaliers 116-97. With the win, the Lakers move into the number 8 seed in the West, still in the play-in, but only having to win 1 of 2 games to advance to the playoffs proper, as opposed to winning 2 in a row for the 9 out of 10 seeds. The Lakers have looked the best they have all season of late, with strong defense and good size with Rui Hachimura.
Rui Hachimura. Okay, sorry. I forget what you're saying.
In the starting lineup, the Lakers went 5-1 on their big late road trip, then came home and beat the Cavaliers with a professional outing. The Cavaliers are now 1-3 on their measuring stick road trip through the West, and while they technically are still the number 3 seed in the East, this team is not scoring anyone right now. Donovan Mitchell had 10 points of 4 of 13 shooting, while Evan Mobley and Max Strus combined to shoot 4 of 14. Darius Garland carried the Cavaliers with 26 points, but it is tough to watch the Cavaliers get pushed around by the Lakers, reminiscent of what the Knicks did to the Cavaliers in the playoff a year ago. So,
okay, and give an update since this came out. I think this was written on Friday. Mm-hmm. The Cavaliers are now in the number 5 seed, and the Lakers have slid to the number 9 seed. So they didn't play, but other teams played, and so they're the number 9 seed. The fact of the matter is, the Lakers are peaking at the right time. D'Angelo Russell has started to come on. LeBron is playing some of the best basketball he has played this year or at any time, even though he's 235 and a half years old. And then Anthony Davis. Listen, LeBron got drafted. He was hooping with a peach basket. Now look at him. I'm just saying, he's been there forever. And he's still doing it at such a high level. It is
still
crazy.
Breaking records too. Yeah.
Yes. Anthony Davis, you can call him street clothes all you want, because they used to call him street clothes because he was always injured all the time, but he's always in street clothes. This is Anthony Davis is playing. His health has been the best his health has been since being with the Lakers. Old man LeBron is young man LeBron. They're playing well, they're balling, which makes it easier for them being in the play-in when they're going to be in the play-in tournament. But the fact is, no one wants to see the Lakers. No one wants to see the Lakers with them starting to peak at this time. When you start looking at it, and you tell me, let's say if the Lakers were to get in, and let's say they drew Minnesota, I like that Laker matchup in the playoffs, a 1-8 matchup in the playoffs where if they got in. The team I don't like them against is Denver. If the Lakers got in and they drew into the playoffs after the play-in tournament, and they drew Denver, that'd be a different story. I don't think they can handle Denver. But everyone else, I like the Lakers against them. And so, like I said, the Lakers are peaking well. They're doing what they need to do to win games and to come together as a team right before the playoffs. That's huge in my book. You understand? You agree? Mm-hmm. You don't want to be that team that peaks early and then stumbles into the playoffs. Kind of like I think about this with football. The Philadelphia Eagles stumbled into the playoffs, just loss after loss after loss. The Lakers are rolling into the playoff on a hot streak, on an 8-game winning streak, where they're getting great play from Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell. They're getting play off the bench. They have size. They're peaking at the right time. I absolutely love it. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. I know we have a shortened segment, so I was going to give you room to go into our next comment.
Yes.
Not comment, but area.
Yeah, so now we're going to be touching on Bronny James because, right, he's going in. It's a complicated thing, right? He's going to the draft, but he's staying in school and going into the transfer portal. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so he's going into the transfer portal. The transfer portal means he's open to transferring to a new school.
Yes.
But he also declared for the draft, meaning that he may be going into the draft. They're going to start looking at where he could end up going in the draft, and then they'll determine if they're going to stay or if they're going to go back into college. If once they start doing their kind of checking things out and seeing will he be a first round pick or where is he going to land? That'll determine. If not, he's going to stay in school and transfer and leave USC. It's unfortunate to me. His college career was a dud, and it's not from. I don't look at it as he's not a good player or wasn't good enough. He's a victim of circumstance. He went to USC. He was super excited about going to USC. And then he had the cardiac arrest incident. Yeah. Where, cardiac arrest is your heart stops. So he was not able to prepare for the season and get ready for the season or play the way you would kind of want him to play. You know what I mean? And tell me this, if you're a coach and you have LeBron James's son, and before the season has even started that he had a heart condition where his heart stopped. Yeah. Are you a little reluctant to play him more?
I would say yes. Yeah.
And that's where I kind of see it as. It's a tough place for a coach to be where the situation. Are you going to play this guy? He's the son of maybe the greatest basketball player to have ever lived. We have spotlights on him every day. Not every week, every day. Yeah. Are you the coach? You're in a really tough place because if you don't play him every day, you're going to be asked, why isn't Bronny playing? How is his health? What's going on? Or, no, we're not playing him. Why aren't you playing Bronny? Is he really sick? Is this the issue? There's too much. His life at USC never had a chance to take off. I'm very curious to see. This is now where things are at. I'm very curious to see, will someone draft him? Because here's the reason why. I don't know if he would be drafted, being honest. If he was Bronny Smith, would he be a draft pick right now? No, I don't think he would be. But that's Bronny James, LeBron James's son. And when you look at it, LeBron is coming up to being a free agent. LeBron has already said he is going to be, he wants to play with his son. And if it takes him leaving the Lakers and going to another team, then so be it. But he wants to play with his son.
So does that mean that the Lakers are going to take a chance and draft Bronny so they don't lose LeBron? Or
yes, that's the conversation piece. If you're like the New York Knicks or you're another team that has a higher draft pick and hey, Bronny is a talent, maybe 2-3 years away from being an NBA caliber player, but we can draft him, work with him, and on the backside, we can get LeBron James for, if you look at LeBron's numbers, LeBron's worth having on any team. Any team in the NBA is a better team with LeBron James on it. So you draft Bronny, you just added a player for your future, but you get LeBron James now. LeBron James comes to your team, you're instantly better. You don't think the Philadelphia 76ers putting Joel Embiid together with LeBron, or Milwaukee or Golden State, or look at any of these teams, Miami, Cleveland, all these teams out here have a chance to draft Bronny with the possibility of getting his dad as well, makes Bronny incredibly attractive.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm drafting Bronny coming off the health scare and his college career wasn't that great. Are you drafting him? No. But when you look at his numbers and you look at how well he's played, he has the ability to turn into a decent player. I don't think he'll ever be anywhere in the ballpark as his dad is. But I do think he's good enough to be an NBA player and a part of a team. So you get Bronny, and you may even get LeBron too. I think people are going to draft him.
Yeah.
If you're a team, you're one player away from contending for a championship. Like we're talking about the 76ers with Joel Embiid. You wouldn't go out if you had an early pick and pick LeBron's son, knowing that you're going to get LeBron?
Yes.
Absolutely, you're getting LeBron.
Yes.
So that's why it is interesting, because I don't think the whole transfer portal part even matters. I think Bronny is turning pro, and because I think he's going to be a first round pick. If you're anywhere outside of the top 5 picks, I'm taking Bronny. After the top 5 picks, if I'm number 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, and I know I can go out and get a LeBron James, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. Maybe even some of the earlier ones, because of what you can get. It's worth it. It's worth it to me to do that. Had to throw that part in there.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about how the Chiefs have a serious opportunity to return to Dallas. So make sure you guys stick around, and we will be back in a minute.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about the Lakers beating the Cavaliers, and then we also touched on where Bronny James could land if he decides to stay in the NBA draft. And now we are going to be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs and how they have a serious opportunity to return to Dallas. I had no idea that they were ever in Dallas.
This is way before your time and my time too.
They
used to be the Dallas Texans before they moved to Kansas City. That was way back when you were a zygote.
A zygote. Before I was ever a twinkle in the eye.
Yes, this is way back in the day. I don't even know how. Look up the Dallas Texans and see if you can see what year they moved. But this was a long time ago. But there has been talk about a lot of people wanting another team in Dallas. That Dallas can support a second football team. And so one of the things that has been talked about is, could they get an expansion team? Could they get a team to move there? Well, all of a sudden, that measure didn't pass for that stadium improvement. And remember what I told you? If you don't want to pay, somebody else will line up and pay.
See, I just don't. So, okay, so if they move to Dallas, are they going to change their name back, or are they going to say the Chiefs? The Dallas Chiefs? Sounds dumb.
Well, okay, first off, we don't want to make any assumption that they're going to move, because I don't want anyone getting upset and sending us hate mail, because the Kansas City Chiefs are a very popular franchise.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the fact that the measure didn't pass. It's a week later. There's already teams and groups putting together, trying to come up with ways to entice the Chiefs to pack up their arrows and all their feathers and their Patrick Mahomes action figurines and ship them south.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the thing about it. These teams have their cities over a barrel. You have, if you don't get them a stadium, they will move. That's what happened to the St. Louis Rams. Now they're the Los Angeles Rams. That's what happened to the Houston Texans. I mean the Dallas Texans. They became the Kansas City Chiefs. Could they go back to being the Dallas Texans again? Could they go back to becoming the Dallas Chiefs? Doesn't sound right, does it?
No.
But it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Think about it. Once upon a time, everyone, when you start thinking about football history, it was the Baltimore Colts. The Baltimore Colts. No one ever thought the Baltimore Colts would ever leave. They're entrenched in NFL history. In your lifetime, you don't even know about the Baltimore Colts.
Yeah, I don't even know who the heck the Baltimore Colts are.
That's the Indianapolis Colts now. They're the Indianapolis Colts. And the concept of even thinking about the Baltimore Colts is crazy to someone else. Even looking around and saying the Cleveland Cardinals, or now the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
They used to be the St. Louis Cardinals. These teams will move if you do not give them what they want. And for the voters, they just look at it as, this billionaire owner has all this money. Why can't he go out and fund the stadium? He's worth billions of dollars.
Right.
Go buy yourself, get your own damn stadium. Right?
Right.
But the alternative is they voted down. Other billionaires will say, hey, we want a team in our city. Or, hey, we want two teams in our city.
Yeah.
Come on down. And that's the thing where groups are in trouble. This sounds crazy, but until a city actually comes together and thinks about this and say, you know what, we, the city, want to buy a franchise. That's the only way it's going to protect from this ever happening. There's only one city that owns their team, and that's the Green Bay Packers. And you're never going to hear about the Green Bay Packers moving because of a measure doesn't pass, because the city owns it. As long as there's private owners, there's going to be this issue. And it doesn't matter what your history is. The Kansas City Chiefs are in the past one of the great NFL franchises, and right now is the NFL franchise. And someone in Dallas is already looking at them and like, man, maybe we can have them move. We'll be happy. We got Jerry World over here. We might as well build another campus over here.
See, that's what throws me off a little bit, is just because, the Dallas Cowboys, all you hear about is the Dallas Cowboys. Like, that's America's sweetheart, the Dallas Cowboys. So it just seems a little odd to have another team in Dallas when they already have such a big franchise with the Dallas Cowboys. That just seems a little weird.
Let me throw something at you.
Okay.
Baseball. Mm-hmm. You think about the New York Yankees. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest brand in all of baseball. One of the biggest brands in all of sports in the world is the New York Yankees, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The New York Mets is just right across town in the same city.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
The Rams are in Los Angeles.
You got the Chargers,
but
too.
So are the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
You see where I'm coming from?
It's just Kansas City Chiefs. It's got a nice little ring to it. And so
because
Dallas
you're used to
Chiefs,
hearing it.
You're
used to hearing it. And you know what? I don't even want to. I mean, it's one of those things. This is a fun conversation to have. Mm-hmm. Could the Chiefs move to Dallas? And that should be our tagline for this clip. Should the Chiefs move to Dallas? Question mark. Because it is a question. Mm-hmm. The Dallas market could easily afford and support two teams. Mm-hmm. If the Chiefs went to Dallas right now and they built a stadium, matter of fact, they built a stadium right beside Dallas, the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. You don't understand. I mean, like side by side with the same door. If everyone going to the same door, they sell out both stadiums all day, every day.
Walk back and forth, depending on when the games are scheduled. You got the Dallas Cowboys game first. Okay, here's the question, though. Here's the question.
One would probably be in somewhere in Dallas. The Cowboys are in Arlington.
Right, but
that's probably what happened.
If they would, I guess even if they were in the same city, not even like next door, what stadium would they play in if they played against each other?
No, it'd be home games, away games.
But so they're both home.
No, your home. You have your home stadium. It's kind of like the Jets.
They're both
now, see, home. It gets here's a one that gets even crazier. The New York Jets are an AFC East team. Mm-hmm. The New York Giants are a NFC East team. Mm-hmm. They both have stadiums in New Jersey, and it's the same stadium.
New Jersey.
So the Jets and the Giants both play in the exact same stadium. And if it's a home game and the Jets came to play the Giants, the Giants would be considered the home team and the Jets would be the away team, even though they're in the same stadium.
That's stupid.
Yes. And vice versa. If the Giants, if it was a home game for the Jets, and they were playing the Giants, the Jets would be the home team.
That's dumb.
Or the Chargers, who rents space at the LA Rams stadium, SoFi Stadium.
Damn, the Chargers can't afford their own stadium.
They rent space. They got landlords to pay. But listen, that shows you how much money it is. Mm. The Chargers left their old stadium to rent space in the Rams stadium because it's a better situation to be in a major market like LA than it is in San Diego. Mm-hmm. That shows you how important these stadiums are. But if the Chargers were home and they just so happened were playing the Rams would be the visitor in their own stadium. Got to keep pace with all this. But the game, you should just, it's crazy to say this, but even when a team builds a new team, a stadium, they should just keep a small tax set aside that just goes into escrow building, because the minute that stadium is done, you got about 20 years before that next stadium is ready. You're gonna need a new stadium.
Yeah.
Like every 20 years. So it's just, city should just go ahead and just say, we got a 20-year tax bill already set. We're gonna tear this new stadium we just built back in 2000. We just might as well just build them. We're gonna renovate that in 2020 anyway. You just might as well just have a renovation clause, and it's getting to that rate. It's getting to that point because these teams are wanting new stadiums, and
yeah,
they can demand anything. So had to throw that in there as an added feature.
I'm excited to see who else is going to be like, yo, Kansas City Chiefs, we'll do this for you.
I'm
Just
hoping
start throwing money at them.
I'm hoping that this, because Dallas is a scary one, because Dallas can easily support two teams. There's no problem with them supporting two teams. So they would build them a stadium. They would give them everything they want. That's a dangerous threat. And I'm hoping that the city kind of sees this, and that they'll come around, and the next vote they'll get their stadium.
Yeah.
This by the end of next year, I predict that the city of Kansas City is going to come around and pass this, because the alternative is they'll leave. And the owner, you can kind of tell they're like, everything's on the table. That's that veiled threat. Like, listen, it's possible we could move if you don't get us the funding we need for our stadium. That was a hollow threat initially. That's we threatened that we could possibly move. Everything's on the table, just to scare them into putting together a proposition that will pass. So that they can get their stadium and they can leave. They can stay. They don't want to leave Kansas City. But the next time it comes up for vote, if it gets shot down, that's when you got to worry.
Yeah.
That's when you got to worry. I watched for a decade, time after time after time, the city of Oakland not fixing that stadium. You're playing a football game, and there's a baseball diamond on your field. You're playing a baseball game, and you can see the lines for the football game out there. And half your stadium, part of your stadium where you're playing a football game, is dirt because there's you got a baseball diamond out there. It was a matter of time before the Oakland A's and the Oakland Raiders said, see ya, I'm pulling the slots of one-armed bandits, I'm hitting the jackpot, and I'm headed to Vegas. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And, not everyone is as fortunate as, let's say, the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers, they just moved to Santa Clara. Santa Clara is just a county over. So there's a lot of wealthy counties in the Bay Area, and that's what I thought was going to happen with the A's, that they were going to go to Santa Clara or Palo Alto or Redwood City. I didn't think they would actually end up leaving the Bay Area, but Vegas is willing to put that money out there, and those luxury boxes sell. That's why you have to take care of Kansas City. Kansas City is rolling. They're too attractive of a team. They're too attractive of a team to leave the city. They're too loved in their city to leave it. But because they're winning so much, and they got Patrick Mahomes for the next decade, teams in Texas, It won't just won't be Dallas. It'll be San Antonio will start eyeing and trying to get a team to come over. Mm-hmm. Don't be surprised. So if someone's going to have to give up the money. It's just a matter of time before that. I think the measure gets passed. They have no choice now.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Before we go on break, though, we got a comment from someone on Twitch. It was Bush1G. They just said, "Hey, what's up? Have a good stream."
What's up, my man? Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. But with that, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we are going to dive into our Monday special of dating horror stories. So make sure you guys stick around, and we'll be back in a minute. So.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about whether the Kansas City Chiefs will move to Dallas or not. And now, since it's Monday, we're going to dive into our dating horror story special. Tate's favorite.
Yes.
Alrighty, so I got this from Reddit, but there were no comments on this post, so I don't know if it's so fresh that no one's commented on it yet, but there are no comments on this one, but this was an appropriate one that I could find for the show. So
excellent.
Okay, so back in my collegiate days, I, 23, female, used dating apps and had some pretty sketchy dating encounters. One time, I got the classic "you up" text around midnight, and I was awake and bored, so I responded. This guy offered to pick me up, and we could watch a movie at his frat where he lived. I made it clear to this guy that I just wanted to watch a movie and nothing more. He picked me up, we got to the frat, and into his room. It was a weird layout with a common area with his desk and closet, and then his actual bedroom through a separate door. We started watching Good Will Hunting on the couch in the common area, and then he asked if we could finish watching it in his room. I said sure. Dumb, I know. Red flag alert. He opens the door to his bedroom, where there's an empty metal bed frame in the middle of the room and a mattress on the corner of the floor. So we lay down on the floor mattress, which wasn't an air mattress, by the way, it was a normal one, and continue watching the movie. We didn't finish the movie because he got tired and was probably mad that I didn't do anything, so I stayed awake and waited for him to wake up and drive me home. This was years ago and I'm fine, but it was so weird and I should have left immediately.
Okay. I'm going to say the real Good Will Hunting was going on at that dorm room, that what he was planning. He was hunting for something, and it wasn't rabbit. Okay. I'm going to ask you questions, Faith.
Yes.
First off, if somebody shoots you a text in the middle of the night and say, "You up?"
There's no response.
What is it? Is that not code for something?
Yes,
I'm just asking you.
Yes, it is code for something.
Next one. You up? You want to come over and watch a movie? Hey, Faith, is that code for something?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay. Hey, Faith, you're watching a movie. Hey, you want to go watch this in my bedroom? Hey, Faith, is that code for something?
Yes.
Your Honor, no further questions. Am I wrong? Please straighten me out on this one.
You're definitely right. Yeah, I can't even tell you how many "you up" texts I have gotten, and I have not responded because that is not what I want to do at, midnight. Of course, they're always late night texts too. It's never like, at like 5 p.m. Hey, what are you doing? It's always from like the span of like 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. That is the you up margin of time text message.
Faith, how many that you said you've received?
I've received
a
a
few of
handful.
these texts.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you ever gotten this text? Hey, Faith, you up? I want to make chocolate milk and marshmallows. You don't get those kind of texts. Hey,
No.
you want to place you want to go crocheting? If you're getting that text,
I will say
you know what time it is.
That's how you get a girl over, though, is not you up saying, hey, what are you doing? I'm making like grilled cheeses or something. You want to come over? That's how you get a girl to your house.
Yes, you are
Hey,
correct.
I'm doing arts and crafts over here. I know it's late. You want to come over and do some with me? That's how you get a girl over to your house.
Oh, girl, there's things I want to say over here. I want to put some money in the collection plate first of all, because you preaching some gospel over here on this one. Everybody, guys, y'all should listen to what Faith is
Take
saying
notes.
on this one, because she's dropping knowledge on y'all. If you don't realize, I'm trying
Don't
to stay
just
out of this
send a you up text. You gotta entice the lady. Give her something. Give her something that she'll want to do when she comes over, Not just you.
I think this guy just flat out was like, listen, this is the game. You up? Next thing is, he literally said, do you want to Netflix and chill?
Basically.
Did he not?
Mm-hmm. Basically, yeah.
Then, do you want to Netflix and chill in my bedroom?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need the Rosetta Stone to figure out what his intentions were.
Here's what I have an issue with.
Okay.
Guys, if you want a girl coming over to your place and, you're hoping the result ends in a specific way, don't.
Nicely done, Faith. Nice. That was professional.
Don't make your room look nice. That throws a girl off. I'm sorry. If you've got a metal bed frame and your mattress is on the floor, I'm going to be like, you know what? I'll call an Uber. I'll go home. See you. Like,
You know what? No, I kid you not, Faith. Oh my God, you are so right. Why, guys?
That's
See, here's the
sketchy.
thing.
That's such a sketchy layout to have in your room, to me.
Guys are clueless. No, not to you. You are talking facts. Guys are clueless. They'll look around the room. There'll be a half-empty case of Natty Light in the corner. Your mattress is on the floor without a sheet.
No
with
sheet. Just
with a balled up Snoopy blanket on the corner.
Just a mattress, no sheets on it, pillowcase with pillows with no pillowcases on it.
And he looks at that like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got her. This is a winner here.
Yeah.
No.
This
is
no, it's not.
You got a Metallica poster on one wall.
Dirty underwear on the floor.
Yes.
I can picture it right now.
The sad thing about it is, from a guy who's lived in a fraternity house,
they're disgusting. They're so gross.
Oh yes, I've lived in a fraternity house. I always had a very nice, well-organized, well-put-together room, for the record. But do you know how many times I have seen a girl come over, go to a dorm room that looked just like you described? Never have I seen a girl walk out like, oh no, you got to clean this place up first. Never have I seen a girl. I don't understand why girls don't look in that room being like, nope. If you look in that room, you're like, that's the one for me. Like her.
Because men set the the bar so low that, you know, we just kind of just brush it off, let it roll off our back, because men set the standard, set the bar so low for themselves. So when you walk into a guy's apartment and his bed is made, you're like, holy crap, your bed is made. I have never seen a man have his bed made. Like,
Faith, you are not wrong. You are so
standard
right.
is set so low.
I always had a really well put together apartment when I was in college.
Any girl that went over there was like, wow, look at your place.
Yes.
It looks so nice.
You'd be surprised at how, if you got a nice, as a guy, as a college guy, if you got a nice put together apartment, you got paintings on your wall instead of, Bud Light posters.
Playboy magazine posters on your wall. Yeah.
You guys, not just the rock band on your wall or the rap artist on your wall.
Yeah.
If you have a nice place that looks like a home, the problem is getting people to leave. That's the
that girl
problem.
will stay forever. Yeah.
You got to get them. Like, listen, the movie is over. I appreciate you coming over. Here, I'll give you some snacks to go. But they don't want to leave.
That's why guys do it, is because they want the girls to leave, and so they don't make their place look nice because they know that they'll stay forever.
Girls don't want to leave. It's like, if I leave this place, my next place I'm going to is the guy with the poster on his wall. Yeah. With the Snoopy blanket balled up in the corner with the mattress with no sheets on it.
Yeah.
It must be, because it is a true fact. What you are talking about is fact.
Yeah.
Now, some of the things that I've said, I'm not saying that a woman does not have the right to, like, no, I don't want to do anything. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that this guy dropped all the hints. You did not have to be Helen Keller to realize what his intentions were. You don't need a CNI dog to figure out what my man's plans for the day were for you.
Well, when you're bored, I've been bored in college.
See, I'm not even tying this into you whatsoever. I am not touching that.
You get bored sometimes,
But yeah, if you fire out that you up, and then first off, if you're not interested, most girls gonna be like, I'm not even answering that one. I'll answer it in the morning. Oh, I'm sorry, I was asleep. I didn't see your text.
I don't answer it, period.
Right. See?
Message me when you actually have something to say.
Exactly. So the fact that she answered, "Are you up?" and asked, "Do you want to come over and watch a movie?" But it's the middle of the night.
I'm sorry, but if you want me to pay attention more to you than the movie, don't put on Good Will Hunting. That's a good movie. Put on a bad movie where I'm not going to want to pay attention to it. Good Will Hunting is a great movie. I love that movie. So I can't even tell you what Good Will Hunting is about anymore. I mean, I might have seen it. I don't know if I've seen it. Good Will Hunting is the kid who got a job at college being a janitor and solved a math problem on the chalkboard, and then he's a really smart kid, whatever.
Okay. I've already fallen asleep.
Matt Damon and Robin Williams.
Oh God, that already sounds kind of boring. I have not seen the movie, so
good.
That's probably why he picked Good Will Hunting. He's like, you know what? I don't even need to pay attention to this movie. I'm just gonna pay attention to a girl that's coming over at midnight.
Okay. So, well, if you're a guy who can't get into Good Will Hunting, don't invite me over.
See, this is why you're never getting a text from me. No, I'm just joking. So
I'm already tied down.
You are. So you're tied down, and I'm locked up. It never happened. But I'm just saying, this guy put out all the breadcrumbs. It's like He just went down the hookup textbook and just went check.
Yeah.
So he was probably, at the end of the day, when he drove her home, he was probably checking his notes like, did I miss a step? Did I miss something?
He's probably mad. All that time wasted for nothing. He's probably upset.
He's probably at home confused right now, wondering, like, I don't understand what went wrong. How did this go wrong? It was so perfect.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we're going to close out our show for today. Just a little advice before we leave. Clean up your place if you're having a girl come over. Come on. Do better.
Why don't just clean your place in general?
I mean, yes, that too. But if you're inviting a girl over, clean it up. Put the mattress on.
At least throw a sheet on that bad boy, okay? Don't put the
mattress
blanket
on the mattress frame.
Put the Snoopy blanket in the corner. Put that in the closet. Put you a comforter on top and some pillows, and get it off the floor.
Yes.
Why do guys love to have mattresses on the floor?
I don't know.
I've never been to a girl's house who had mattress on the floor.
You will never find a mattress on the floor in a girl's apartment.
If I went to a girl's house and she had a mattress on the floor, I'm hitting her the deuces, I'm turning around, and I'm leaving. So, all right. Anyway, we're wrapping this up.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content updates. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn ain't that great.